that was a prediction from his idea, his hypothesis, and then we found it. So it's always possible, Zoid. This is the whole thing about science not proving. It's always possible that there's some other explanation or something else in conjunction with his explanation.
That's pseudoscience.
That actually an object emitting light, the light shines in all directions, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I had a round globular light, switched it on, it lights up in every direction. But there's an object in the way. Now, some of that light is passing to the left of it and is curved towards you. Some of it's passing to the right and is curved towards you. So you're seeing it, the same object, from more than one direction.
But light travels in straight lines, though. If it's diverging away,
yes, and it does.
It's not going to curve towards you.
No, it is traveling in a straight line. It's traveling in a geodesic. The problem is that the substance of the universe is bent. And here, if you didn't like that one, because it's...
But that's the thing, the universe isn't substance, it's free space, it's available space.
The fabric of the universe, whatever that fabric is.
What fabric?
Well, that's in the widest sense of the term.
That's what I'm saying, 10 to the minus 17 torr is hardly anything, it's available space. It's not physical.
We're not talking about... 10 to the negative 17 torr is hardly anything, but that's just a number of atoms. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about dimensions getting warped.
Dimension of free space, of available space. So in other words, that availability you're saying is physical.
Here you go. There's an Einstein ring. That is one galaxy that's the light of which has been bent as it passes the central object. So that's not multiple objects. That is an object, a galaxy.
How do you know it's just not refracted there?
Well, it's basically bent by the mass.
Yeah, but what about diffraction?
Hold on. If it's diffraction, what's it diffracting through?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not my claim.
Yes, it's not diffraction.
You guys are making a claim that it's just you making a claim that it's scientifically validated, correct? That this is a scientific experiment when they took this photo. Correct?
Well, that's just an astronomical photo. There are many astronomical photos of Einstein rings and Einstein crosses.
And would you say what he postulated to be is fact that it's that?
Sorry, say that again.
And you would say if he postulated that's the reason for that ring, that's fact that is the reason for the ring. In other words,
well, he
proven then that's what
he predicted that if his ideas were correct, then if you had a galactic-sized mass, then further objects would have their light bent. That was a prediction from his idea, his hypothesis, and then we found it. So it's always possible, Zoid. This is the whole thing about science not proving. It's always possible that there's some other explanation or something else in conjunction with his explanation.
That's pseudoscience. That's pseudoscience. That's science.
Hold on. What do you?
You see, the thing is, science is, like we say, an empirical method. It will prove the effect, and it will never change. So if I take heat and I use heat to cause to boil water, it will always cause water to boil, no matter if I do it tomorrow, today, or yesterday. Or if someone else does it, heat will always cause water to boil. You would agree? If you put enough thermal energy into water, it will boil.
If you put enough in, yes.
Great. So,
as we know, atmospheric pressure or the pressure the water is under will affect that. So if your theory was if I apply heat, this water will boil at 100 degrees, you test it, it boils at 100 degrees. Unfortunately, you then find that if you go up a mountain, it boils. It takes a much higher temperature for it to boil.
Less temperature.
You weren't wrong. It takes
less temperature to boil. In a vacuum, it takes less temperature.
Yes. Yeah, beg your pardon. You're right. Quite right. And pressure cooks the other way. But the point is, you weren't wrong, but you needed to expand your theory. So your theory saying if I apply this much, it will boil at 100 is correct. No. But then if you change the pressure, you will need a different amount to get to boil. So you weren't wrong, but you refined your theory.
That comes with systematic experimentation after your hypothesis. So once I've already got my hypothesis, heat causes water to boil, I've validated that. Then it comes systematic experimentation. How much heat do I require to boil? Do I need less water? What kind of container do I need? How much heat do I need? That comes to systematic experimentation. But that doesn't invalidate that heat causes water to boil. Now, you can have a control at how much atmospheres, you can say, causes it to boil. But do you think putting water in a vacuum causes water to boil? Or is it just degassing?
Well, you're not at absolute zero, so there is some heat there.
But you do understand, if you put water in let's say we just stuck water in a vacuum chamber.
If you take the air pressure, yes, that's right. You take the pressure right down, it will boil away.
No, degassing is not boiling.
Well,
there's a big difference between degassing and boiling. With boiling,
but you're sort of getting away from this thing with Sir Arthur Eddington.
No. I'm giving you a point on science because you're claiming Sir Arthur Eddington is science, and I'm trying to show you it's not scientific because there's no manipulation of the IV, so it's just correlation based.
But there is. If you look at those stars a little later on, a few hours later, because the sun's gone, the eclipse has finished, the sun's gone, the stars come out, you will find that the position of those stars has changed back to what they normally are.
Well, then
during the eclipse, when the light was passing close to the sun, the light from the stars was bent.
Okay,
then you cannot deny that. There's a photograph.
Okay,
there are photographs.
Yeah, then I can do exactly the same and make a prediction. God sticks a magnifying lens when there's a solar eclipse around the sun's corona, and therefore the lights are out of position. I've taken a photograph. It proved it. I've taken a photograph. It's proven it.
You're saying that it's refracted.
Yeah, God put a magnifying in front of the sun's corona, therefore the lights were out of place.
Okay, well, there's another theory then. So we got Einstein's theory, and we got God's bloody great magnifying glass. Okay, that's fine. Okay, listen, that would be absolutely fine to postulate that as a possible explanation. But there are lots of possible explanations. Then you have to try and rule them out.
Okay, but there's a photo showing this now. So.
Showing what? Showing the magnifying glass or just showing the result?
Showing the result.
Showing the result, yeah. So then you'd have to think, well, hold on. Einstein said it's because it's close to the sun. Flatzoid said it's because it's a big magnifying glass refracting the light. So how else could we test it? That's science.
So how did you test then Einstein's predictive theory?
Well, because of the same theory, you've got things like this Einstein's ring and the Einstein cross.
Which I said God stuck a magnifying glass in front. That's why we get it.
So. Well, I mean, just saying God did it isn't very scientific now, is it?
And just saying space-time did it isn't very scientific either. That's why. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. To go through science is an empirical method. You have to manipulate the IV to know the cause. If you don't manipulate the IV, it's not scientific. It's pseudoscience because you're just correlating based on the belief.
Well, no, because we can see that galaxy here in this ring has had its light bent. You look at another galaxy, a similar sort of distance away, that does not have a supermassive object in the way, its light isn't bent. There's your IV.
No, that's not IV. It's a different location. You're looking at a different location. If you say you're looking at a different galaxy, correct?
Yes.
How is that changing the IV?
Because light travelling a certain distance appears as a galaxy shape. A light travelling the same distance but with a massive object in the way gets distorted.
I think you're missing my point altogether, though.